Instagram at code.manxx. This is my Instagram, y'all. Code.manxx, guys. We got over 1,000 videos over there. But man, we about to get into it, man. A lot of people, you know, I looked up to see if people did the Eve spirit. Now, I haven't seen nobody do signs of the Eve spirit yet. So I'm pretty much gonna be one of the first ones to do this when it comes down to, like, I'm gonna say the 7 signs of the Eve spirit. You know, a lot of people they've done like the succubus spirit, the incubus spirit, excuse me, marine spirits and stuff like that. But when it comes down to the Eve spirit, it's a bit different. You know what I'm saying? And this, you know, a lot of people they can't touch on the Eve spirit because the Eve spirit is it's like a carnal spirit, but it's not like fully demonic. All right, guys, because a lot of people think that the Eve spirit is like fully demonic, and it's not. Like, because you could be a good person that's carnal, but you're not demonic, right? But we all know that through God, you know, you gotta accept salvation if you want to be godly, right, to make it to heaven. All right, guys. But like I said, man, I'm gonna be probably the first one to touch on this, and maybe a lot of people gonna start to try to touch on this, but they're gonna end up doing Jezebel signs and succubus signs and demonic, you know, demonic signs, right? Demonic spirit signs. But really, the Eve spirit is not necessarily always demonic. All right, guys. So we're finna get into it. First of all, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. Also, to donate, guys. All right. No, signs the spirit of Eve is around you. All right, guys. Number one, you allow the devil to trick you. Now, this is a sign that the Eve spirit, you know, is around you. You know, whether if you got a friend allowing the devil to trick her, or you allowing the devil to trick you. You know what I'm saying? Like in the garden, the devil tricked Eve because he tricked Eve by talking to her right through the serpent and telling her like that she could be like God. When really before Adam and Eve bit the apple, they were already like God. You know what I'm saying? It just Eve did that out of curiosity. But you guys gotta understand, man, that if you allowing the devil to trick you, this is a sign of the Eve spirit. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful out here because, you know, the devil, he come as a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour, right? And you guys gotta understand that you gotta resist the devil so the devil can flee from you. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's always good to have that spirit of discernment. You know, a lot of people, they lack that spirit of discernment. This is how they get tricked by the devil. You know, this is how Eve in the garden, she got tricked by the devil. The lack of the spirit of discernment. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, she was already like God because they were in a world where there were no sin. You know what I'm saying? The garden was their heaven, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because they couldn't pass away, or, you know, everything was pretty much perfect. You know what I'm saying? The garden before Adam and Eve bit the apple. I want you to be clear. Before they bit the apple, not after. All right, guys, we already know that after they bit the apple, that's when the yin and the yang, you know, came in. You know, the light and the dark came in to the world. All right, through their sin. All right, guys. So you gotta understand that this sign of the Eve spirit, guys, or you got the Eve spirit around you. You know what I'm saying? When you send your friend allowing demonic people trick her, demonic men, or, you know, tricking you or tricking your friends. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's a lot of demonic men out here. They come as the devil. They got the spirit of the devil. You know, a lot of these drug dealers, you know what I'm saying? They got the spirit of the devil. A lot of these dudes that's in these groups, you know what I'm saying? Cliques, you know what I'm saying? They got the spirit of the devil. You know, they gonna try to trick you with, with the flashy lifestyle, you know what I'm saying, with money. You know what I'm saying? They try to get in your pants. So you gotta be careful out here because the devil can trick you, you know, but that's you having that Eve spirit, right? So you gotta be careful, man, because I said the devil, he's seeking who he may devour. So you women out here, y'all gotta be careful because a lot of y'all women, y'all carnal. Y'all have the Eve spirit out here, all right? So this sign that you have the Eve spirit. Number two, you never satisfied. This is another sign of the Eve spirit is around you. Well, if your friend, you know, it seems like they're never satisfied, or you never satisfied with. I'm talking about with absolutely nothing. I know we all must self-improve in this life spiritually, right? We all know that we must self-improve spiritually and financially. But it's like you never at peace, right? You know what I'm saying? And Eve in the garden, she wasn't satisfied. You know, like I said, before Adam and Eve bit the apple, they were already like God. They were already perfect, right? You know what I'm saying? But Eve was not satisfied, right? She wanted to try to even become even more like God when she didn't even know that she was already like God. You know what I'm saying? Out of just ignorance, right? Out of just allowing the devil to trick her, right? So when you never satisfied, that's the Eve spirit. That's within you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you gotta be careful what you wish for, cause you might just get it, and when you get it, you might not know what to do with it. You might not know how to handle it. You know what I'm saying? And it could be the trick of the devil. It could be the work of the devil, cause the devil, he'll give you what you want, you know, to destroy you. You know what I'm saying? He'll give you what you want, and you thinking psychologically, you know, that you need it, right? When really you just want it, but he'll use what you need, you know, to destroy you. Excuse me, he'll use what you want that you think you need up here psychologically to destroy you in the end, long term. So you guys gotta be careful, man. But this sign of the evil spirit never satisfied. All right. Number 3, you don't want to be led by a godly man. This sign of the spirit of the Eve, the spirit of Eve is around you. You know, you don't want to be led by a godly man, or you see your friends, they don't want to be led by a godly man. They with a drug dealer, they with a scammer, you know what I'm saying? They with a dude that run the streets that's you know what I'm saying, that's in cliques, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth with other dudes in the streets. They both deleting each other's life, you know what I'm saying, and all this type of stuff. You know, beefing with other dudes, you dealing with dudes that's demonic, you know what I'm saying? But you don't want to be led by a godly man. You know, a godly man try to tell you what's right, you don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? That's the Eve spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, before Adam and Eve bit the apple, they were already like God. They were already godly, right? But see, Eve, she deviated from Adam, right? And she listened to the devil. The devil got in her ear. But she was already with a godly man. You know what I'm saying? But she deviated from that godly man and got tricked by the devil to eat the fruit. You know what I'm saying? That's when after that, she got Adam to eat the fruit. Right? Because he was a weak man. You know what I'm saying? You know, he followed her, right? But guys, the sign of the spirit of Eve is around you. Or you have this Eve spirit. So you gotta just be careful, man. See the Eve spirit, they don't want to be led by a godly man. You know what I'm saying? When they come out and doing the right thing, no, they want to be around dudes that's doing the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these women, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, a lot of these women, they just want to sleep with men for their money. You know what I'm saying? This is what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? So they get with these scammers. They get with these drug dealers. Those not godly men. But a lot of these women, that's what you attract to these street dudes that selling drugs and all that stuff. These demonic men. This is what a lot of you women are attracted to. But when it comes out to a godly man, you don't want him. You don't want a man that's doing the right thing. You don't want to be led by a man that's doing the right thing. You don't want to be led by a man that it takes time for him to build up his success, right? You want a man that got the devil that's within him, right? And you want to allow the devil to trick you. See, these dudes that's ungodly, that's running the streets, that's in these cliques, that's selling drugs, that's beefing with other men and deleting each other's life and all that type of stuff. A lot of you women, y'all attract to him. And what y'all attract to is y'all attract to the devil. Y'all attract to the devil. You know what I'm saying? But that's the Eve spirit. Because Eve was allowed the devil to attract her, to deceive her. But y'all see, but the devil now in human form is these drug dealers, these scammers, these dudes that be in these cliques, these street dudes, these dudes that be doing wrong things to get money. Right? But this is what a lot of you women are attracted to. So y'all allowing the devil to lead y'all, right? Instead of the godly man. Right? But this is the Eve spirit. A lot of women like this, man. Weak. They got low self-esteem, weak spirit. Alright, guys? So this sign of the Eve spirit. Don't want to be led by a godly man. Because you don't want to hear the truth. And you don't want accountability. Right? A lot of you women, you don't want accountability. Alright? Number 4, guys. You're curious about everything. This another sign of the spirit of Eve is around you. You know, you got a friend that's curious about everything. She's in everybody's business. You know what I'm saying? You know, she's trying to see what's what, and oh, let me go over there and see what they got going on. You can get your life deleted like that. You can get your life took like that. Been in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know what I'm saying? That's why you shouldn't be curious about everything. See, Eve was curious. When she was in the garden, she was very, very curious. She thought she was going to become like God and get the knowledge and all and the wisdom. You know what I'm saying? But the devil tricked her. But she ate the fruit. You know what I'm saying? Out of just being curious. You know what I'm saying? And it messed up her spiritual life. You know what I'm saying? It messed up her relationship with God. It brings sin into the world. But not just only her, Adam too. When he bit it too, when they both ate the fruit. I'm gonna just call it a fruit, right? I don't know what it was, but I'm gonna just call it a fruit. They say an apple, right? But I'm gonna just call it a fruit. When they both ate the fruit, it brings sin into the world. But this is the Eve spirit, being too curious. A lot of you women, y'all are too curious, right? And a lot of women got their life deleted, got their life took from them because they're being too curious. That's the Eve spirit. You gotta stay out of people's business. I know it's hard as a woman to like stay out of people's business because to a certain extent it's your job to want to nurture, to want to care, to want to see what's going on. When somebody is hurting, you want to see what's going on. That's in y'all nature. Because you know that curiousness, like I said, is attached to that Eve spirit. But you gotta also have that spirit of discernment, right? Spiritually, that's coming from the Most High. But a lot of y'all just have that Eve spirit, that curious spirit, right? But you don't have that spirit of discernment that's coming from the Most High. So you guys gotta understand, man. This is the spirit of Eve is around you, or it could be in you. All right, guys, you guys gotta watch out for that. You don't want that type of spirit. Number 5, you be everything that sound good. Oh, hold on, guys, my bad. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect, guys. Sorry about that. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. All right. You believe everything. I know I wrote that fast. My bad, y'all. You believe everything that sounds good to you. This is another sign of the Eve spirit, guys. You believe everything that sounds good to you. All right, guys. So when it comes down to you believe in everything that sounds good to you guys gotta watch out for that. All right, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So when they come down to the Eve spirit, man, believing everything that sounds good to you. That's what Eve did. That's what Eve did in the garden. She believed everything that sounded good to her. You know what I'm saying? She believed everything that sounded good to her from the devil. And this is how the devil tricked her. See, a lot of you women, y'all believe anything that these devils on this planet, these men that's trying to use hyperbole against you, that's trying to use flashy things to try to reel you in. You know, y'all believe a lot of these men that brag about what they got and all this type of stuff. That's the Eve spirit. You know what I'm saying? You got a carnal spirit. Cause a lot of you women, y'all worshiping materialistic items. Y'all worshiping the things of this world. Y'all not worshiping God. See, and this is what takes you out of your sovereign capacity. This is what pulls you away from God. And it all works in symbiotic connection. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it seems like, see, this is what a lot of these dudes out here that got a devil that's within them, these cheaters, you know what I'm saying? These dudes that's toxic, they come as the devil. And they try to offer you women the world. And a lot of you women, guess what? Y'all had that Eve spirit. Y'all fall for it. That's just like Eve fell for the devil in the garden. She fell for it. She fell for it. And just like you women out here, y'all be falling for these men that got all this money, right? They trick you and tell you, well, I take you here, I do this for you, I do that for you, I give you the world, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that the devil promised Eve the world. Nah, he promised her to be more like God. But in a sense, y'all get what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying? But the devil tried to he tried to tempt Christ, the world, right? So I can't say that now. See, the devil, he tried to tempt Christ, the world. right? But Christ, he rebuked the devil. He said he was going to follow his Father. He was going to, put the work in for his Father that his Father sent him to do. And that's what he did. But a lot of you women, y'all not trying to put in no work for the Father. What y'all doing is, y'all want the world by the devil, right? Y'all allowing the devil to, to have you in the palm of his hand, to have you in his well, right? Y'all allowing the darkness to swallow y'all whole. Y'all wondering where y'all be going through what y'all going through. A godly man, he doesn't try to deceive a woman with materials or anything like that. He don't try to manipulate a woman. He just be genuine. But like I say, a lot of you women, y'all love that manipulation. Y'all love it when the devil come to you and say, "Oh, I give you this, I give you that." That 9 times out of 10, that's an evil man. But anyway, if you fall for it, that's the Eve spirit, right? Because the devil was tricked Eve, right? All right, guys. So you women gotta understand that. Number 6, guys. You're easy to be influenced. This is a sign the spirit of Eve is around you. A woman that's easy to be influenced, that's the spirit. She got the spirit of Eve. Like she always ready to go here and there, always ready to go, to the parties and all this type of stuff. It's like she always down with anything, down with just anything. Will go anywhere with anybody. Like that's the Eve spirit. You know what I'm saying? Because the devil, like I said, he tricked Eve into eating the fruit, right? He influenced Eve to eating the fruit. And a lot of you women, y'all had that Eve spirit, right? People was influencing y'all. Y'all allowing trends through the media to influence y'all. Y'all allowing these rappers, these female rappers to influence y'all. That Eve spirit. Ignorance, right? Y'all like allowing ignorance to fool y'all, right? Y'all like allowing demons, the devil to fool y'all, all right? To be like him, right? So to be like that, I'm gonna say to be like that spirit, all right, guys? So y'all gotta be careful about that. Number 7, lack spiritual. Look at me. Lack spiritual discernment, all right? When you lack spiritual discernment, hold on, y'all. When you lack spiritual discernment, like I said, guys, I'm not perfect. You know what I'm saying? The Bible said, man, say he's perfect. He's a liar, and the truth is not in him, right? So I'm not perfect, all right, guys? So I just wrote this real fast. Lack spiritual discernment. When you lack spiritual discernment, this the sign that you have the Eve spirit. You know what I'm saying? Or a woman around you lack the spirit of discernment. It's like she doesn't have a mindset. She don't have a mind of her own. She only go based off of what somebody else told her. She don't look up anything, right? She don't study to show herself approval. The Bible states verbatim, study to show yourself approval. She don't study the Bible, or she don't study history or nothing like that. She don't try to figure out the truth for herself. She just go along with the flow, right? Lacking the spirit of discernment. This is what happened to Eve in the garden. Eve, she lacked the spirit of discernment. You know what I'm saying? She just went with the flow of the devil. Right? And then Adam went with the flow of the devil. But we talking about Eve right now, right? But she just went with the flow of the devil. Right? Because she heard something good. It sounded good to her. What the devil was, what he said that what was going to happen if she ate the fruit. Right? But a lot of you women, y'all lacking spiritual discernment. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, y'all when it comes down to dealing with dudes, a lot of you women, y'all don't have that discerning spirit. Y'all just so easily just to fall for a man, right? Like I said, I understand why, because a lot of you women, y'all not raised by y'all father, or y'all not raised by a godly man. So it's very, very hard. That means you need to study the Bible. The Bible says study yourself the Bible says study to show yourself approval, right? That means that you need to study the Bible. You need to tap into more spirituality that's connected to the Most High, right? So you can develop that spirit of discernment. And I know a lot of you women, y'all naturally have that spirit of discernment, but it's a carnal spiritual discernment. It's not spiritual. That's connected to the Most High, all right, guys? So these are the 7 signs the spirit of Eve is around you, right? Like I said, that spirit of Eve, it can be in your friends, or it can be in you. You know what I'm saying? But guys, man, I hope y'all got some advice. I hope it helped you out. I hope it encouraged you some sort of way. Like I said, man, I'm probably gonna be be the first one to do like, you know, the 7 signs of the spirit of Eve. Like I said, man, if people trying to do the spirit of Eve, the signs, right? But they talking about a lot of demonic stuff, like just straight demonic. Nah, the spirit of Eve is not necessarily straight demonic. It's not true. You know, Eve, like I said, she was already like God before she bit the fruit. I mean, excuse me, before she ate the fruit. And Eve was already like God before he ate the fruit. It's just they didn't know, right? It's just an ignorant mindset. It's an ignorant mindset. So that's the spirit of Eve. You know what I'm saying? An ignorant mindset. It's not necessarily a evil mindset. All right, guys. So, like I said, when people explain the spirit of Eve, it's only one way. It's only one way